Welcome to the Fall Off Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky. Hey, yo, listen, I just got off the phone with my buddy, man, uh, Randy. And we're going to come back on. You'll see us later on part two, because now I'm doing part one first with myself today. Listen, Buffalo Bills, as you can see, is moving on to the divisional round against the MVP candidate Lamar Jackson. Both Allen and Lamar Jackson are MVP. I think they should be co-MVPs. Um, Only because I just think that Lamar does things for his team, and if he wasn't there, that team would be a playoff team, but they wouldn't be as dominant because they have a good defense. So that's going to carry them to at least get them at least into the playoffs. But Josh Allen has to carry that team. And if you watched, he threw a pass yesterday on 4th and 1 for a touchdown that I don't know, man. I don't know too many people could throw it like that, man. It fit it inside a rat's nostril. That's how that looked. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So look, I got a very, very important topic today. I am going to run down the scores from yesterday's game for the weekend's games, and it looks something like this. The Washington Commanders won 23-20 against the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay last night. That was the last game of the night, nightcap. Green Bay didn't show up at all. They lost to the Philadelphia Eagles 22-10. It's just that I don't think that they even tried. Pittsburgh lost to the Ravens. They didn't even try. I mean, the Ravens literally just ran amok all over them, 28-14. It was a good game up in Houston for the most part of that game until about the later part of the third, middle of the third, and then the Texans just blew it open. I mean, I don't know if they blew it open or if the Chargers just had something else on their mind, and they could be. I mean, they're from Los Angeles. A lot of stuff that's going on. They could have just been like, you know what, we don't want this. Like this not gonna happen. So I just really think that it just was the Texans. It was their night. Their defense played easily, probably top two of the week, and I think the Bills' defense from start to finish. Even you give up a long pass, that happens, man. I mean, the clock is right twice a day, but I think that the Texans just from start to finish played. So I feel like they played on, but a lot of things happen. Tip passes for interceptions for 2 pick sixes. That's just come on, man. But anyways, Texans wind up winning that game 38-13 or something like that, 12 or something like that. Let me see. Well, I'll keep saying something like that. Let me just scroll down. Yeah. That was that score. So the Texans will head to play the Kansas City Chiefs, who were waiting around 4:30 p.m. Saturday. Right now, the Washington Commanders will be playing the Detroit Lions at 8 p.m. on Saturday, and the Bills will host on Sunday night the they're putting that Sunday night. I knew they were going to do it. 6:30 p.m. the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, we got one more game tonight, which is the Vikings and the Rams at 8 p.m. I'm not even watching that game. I think Minnesota will probably win barely. Barely. Yeah, I don't know. I think that game is just whatever. But I think whoever wins that game, they will go and play the Washington Commanders, or they'll host the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels looked great for Washington. He's up in Chocolate City, y'all, playing his heart out. Playing his heart out, Chocolate City. Yo, I'm actually thinking about like Chocolate City. Like I got the Chocolate City from Stephen A. Smith from the First Take show. Like, he is hilarious. He loves Chocolate City. He's hilarious. Hey, yo, fresh news. Cowboys make a decision to move on from Mark McCarthy. I said, Mike. Bye. If anybody don't know, Dallas, they've been just subpar for years, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, they got good teams, good defense. They just cannot get over the hump for whatever it is. I think that every NFL team has something that they need to get over on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Bills need to move on from this. They need to beat the Ravens, but then they definitely need to beat the Chiefs if the Chiefs wind up beating the Texans, which I think they are. But that's neither here nor there. But the Dallas Cowboys, with that talent, they just can't win a playoff game, or they can't continue to move on, and it's just crazy to me. But yeah, they're moving on from Mike McCarthy, or he's moving on from them, which is not a shocker, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's it in that sports. Yo, there's an important fight that's coming up in September of this year. I believe Canelo will be fighting Terrence Crawford. Canelo will be fighting Terrence Crawford, people. Canelo will be fighting Terrence. This is about to be amazing. Yo, I cannot wait to September for that. It's crazy. Like, there's a lot of things I can't wait for, but that's what you like. You want that fight. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be great. We'll talk about that more as that comes up. Let's talk about what's going on, man. First and foremost, we want to say condolences and prayers to the people in Los Angeles. Some people are losing their homes, man. Some people have lost their homes. Some people have been displaced. This is a tough time. You coming off of, the Christmas, the New Year's. You got your New Year's resolution. You got, you got a lot of things that you got to be thankful for. But when you're seeing like your fellow Americans going through something like this, you see like the fire, the destruction, the things that are going on and happening in Los Angeles, your heart just melts. There's a lot of people out there that are saying that, oh, these fires were man-made and force-made and stuff like that. I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I do know is State Farm, you're a piece of you know what. Just going back on State Farm, I believe State Farm homeowners insurance, they canceled a lot of the homeowners insurance last year, or they weren't giving it to people based off of the structure and what was going on. The governor even went ahead and cut a budget for the fire department. The fire department, when you guys are always in a situation in which you're getting forest fires, you're going to cut the budget $18 million? You crazy? But then again, that's why people are saying it's man-made. So what you want? You want to just destroy the whole state, burn it down to nothing? This stuff right here is big, but here it is. Tyler Perry calls out home insurance companies for canceling plans months before LA fires. This happened in the Palisades. Right now, State Farm canceled California home insurance months ago. Did they know something? Seems kind of eerie, right? That this would go on. And these are wildfires, and it's by the wind, 80 miles per hour. Let me get it right. Stop moving fast. 80 miles per hour wind blowing fire. Gonna cause a big problem. You're gonna have to have your shades on like me. As you know, my signature hat, shades, that's what I do. Right now, 72,000 property policies in California, 30,000 of which were home insurance policies. The Los Angeles Times reported cancellations went into effect over the summer. 1,600 homes in the Pacific Palisades were victims of State Farm policy. Did they know something? Like, here's where the conspiracy theorists go in the hand. Like, yo, they did this, and now these people are displaced, and so God bless, man. I hope things get right there. I hope that we can kind of figure something out, man. Send money to the Red Cross. Send money to your fellow Americans because they're gonna need it. That's on the West Coast. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. It's really two places that I don't want to move to. And at first I thought California was three now. But at first I thought California would be a place that I would move to. But having to deal with that? Fires? Bruh, I'm not talking about me being scared of fire. We're not talking about that. We're talking about that this happens over and over to where you got to continue to pack up and leave. Not fighting the fire, not helping people, but just the fact that living in Florida, hurricanes, nah, we don't want to do that. Nah, I'm cool with a little bit of snow. Well, a lot. I'm from Buffalo. I'm cool with the snow. I'm even cool with it being cold. I can deal with that. It's minus 19, minus 25 below. Put me in it. I'm going to shovel. I'm going to dig people out, help people get their cars out and everything. But when you're talking about having to deal with an 80 miles per hour wind, and this is a season for it. We ain't talking about going to fight a fire like, oh, yo, there's a fire up on, at the mall, and you got to go put the fire out, and you got to go rescue some people, and be empathetic and sympathetic and all that. We're talking about something that's continuously happening. What? This is great. I mean, I don't know if this was man-made. Don't get me to. I'm not going with that. I'm just saying to cancel an insurance policy kind of looks, and we could delve more into it, man. Whatever you can leave messages, leave me a message or even a comment to tell me what your thoughts are on it, but also tell me what's your feelings on living in that area and having to deal with that as well. And also why they canceled them policies. I'm not going into that. I'm just giving the information out that I seen and know that I read. I'm not going to go deep into that because that's not me. I mean, but I will say that a little sus. What else? I was watching a documentary on Tupac. You know, these people got all these conspiracy theories and stuff like that with the documentary. And newfound information, there's not really nothing that's new per se, but there are things that were given into detail and better context, I would say. And having understanding of that stuff, that information, led me to think about the music business and thinking about Drake and the things he's trying to do. It was a lady that was. Listen. I'm not out here to give a research paper or anything like that. You can go research this on your own. This documentary, which is called New Information on Tupac. But this lady that was on there, she was can tell you that she was a auditor, and she kept up with the books. And it was this one particular time that she said that there was an artist in 2019 that thought he got out of his deal. Rap artist got out of his deal in 2013. He signed in 2009. But he wasn't out of his deal until 2019. He thought he was out in 2013. And she said they just trumped up all type of, like, he was making money, But they were trumping up all type of things to keep his money as to why they wouldn't, that he still didn't recoup. And I could see why a lot of artists, even Joe Budden, flipped and stopped doing music. And then I could see why a lot of artists are still doing music because they, in order for them to be able to make money, they got to go on tour. So if you're being booked, let's just say, uh, we're gonna use let's use Nas. Let's use Nas, right? My favorite rapper. He's going on tour for, let's say, a summer, 90 days. And in the 90 days, he's doing 45-day shows. And he's being booked at, depending on the region, let's say one region he's higher than the other. So one region he's at, let's say 150,000 a show. I don't know. I'm just throwing it. 100,000 a show, right? For the North. And for the South, 85,000. For the West, 65,000 a show. Well, when you divvy it all up and you put up the math, just do the math. I mean, he's making money, and that's coming directly to him. So where then he would have to pay, obviously, his constituents or people that he's on the show with or tour with or whatever have you. So then that's what he's left with. 45 days. So let's say in the North, he's got the bulk of the shows 20 days because he's more well known in the North, and then the South 15, and then, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just giving all this information in this capacity so you can understand what I'm saying. So that's how he's making his money and his living. The album sales, people are not buying albums. They're streaming them, but they're not buying them. On YouTube, it's like 0.0, it's like 0.1573 per stream. Bro, for the little man that's out here doing what 20,000 views, and it's being watched in its entirety at 10,000 views, that's not money, man. And so some of these, and mind you, the label, in order to get you recouped, they're going to have to push the song, right? By putting it on Spotify, putting it on all of these different areas, you know what I'm saying, to get more streams and more listens, and then they got to pay radio to play it or whatever have you. Bottom line is, people aren't buying it. So the artists have to make their money by that, because the labels are making their money by capitalizing off of commercials. If they put it in a commercial, or if they sell it to Target or Walmart, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just giving a generalization of this. So the artists, they're in like 25-year deals. What I was thinking about was, Drake battling UMG and, putting out music, and then now UMG took it down. First of all, Drake, he doesn't live his raps, because if he did, he would have held it down. You could be mad at your brother, man. Like, y'all can get over him dancing and, whatever have you, in that Kendrick Lamar pop-out show. Come on, man. Like, that's not a big deal. You gonna go snitch and be like to another, to someone in the industry that is very famous, DJ Academics, who is a host on a show and has his own has his own podcast and his own show, that that he gets over 1 million streams every time he pops up. You gonna go tell this man that you and him was doing a 2-man? I know I'm off on a tangent because I'm talking about Drake and that, but bro, you gotta stop, bro. That's the guy code. You shouldn't break that part. That right there, you shouldn't do. That comes off as You need to just go and not do any music, do nothing. Yo, fight the fight that you're gonna fight, because I think that he has a valid from listen, again, I'm not going into detail. A lot of things you're gonna have to do this research on your own. I'm just giving you a little snip tidbits and my thoughts on certain things that he did or what people did. But Drake put out some music and UMG took it off because they're in a battle, a legal battle. And part of it is because they feel like he feels like Kendrick Lamar put out a song accusing him of being a pedophile. Whatever, bro. You accuse Kendrick Lamar of beating his wife. Again, I'm not gonna stick to those points. I'm just saying, bro, stop that part. The part that I am cool with you doing is you're fighting the fight for these artists who need to recoup faster and better on some other method. Because when back in the days in the 90s, when artists was putting out music at $13.49 per CD and selling 1 million CDs, you can visualize and see the money. Now, whatever it costs to do that album, some people used to do it in shit like this. Close it off, you go and record, put it out. You know, but if you go into big studios and you got to pay for studio time, you got to pay for engineering, you got to pay for all these different qualities, whatever, I can see where 1 million probably won't be 1 million. After you pay lawyers, you pay this, you pay that, you pay taxes, you know, you're probably left with 25,000. Right, from an album. So now you got to hope that your album do 10 million like a Tupac. And even that, again, a lot of times when you have great albums, your quality of music producers and things like that elevate, put you into a stratosphere of unknown. There's only been a handful of albums that were classic albums. Even the classics a lot didn't sell a lot. But the ones that sold a lot had expensive budgets. And so I think that Drake is fighting that fight, and that's cool. But yo, stop talking about your opponents right now. Focus on making some music. Focus on that fight, or not. Actually, don't even focus on making music right now. Focus on the fight and get in the courts and get suited up and fight that fight so that your people that you do fuck with can start getting paid from the music business in some form, like, you know, and get out of these shit deals, you know. And so I hope that. Listen, I had fun with you guys. Taught you. Hope you learned something. You can watch us on Patreon, YouTube, on the Culture Visions Network on the YouTube channel, and also look, I got some stuff coming with Randy, but I also got some stuff coming with OZ, the Four Quarter Podcast. We're gonna be coming back soon. Just so y'all know, we're gonna be coming back soon. That show kind of reminds me of Mace and Cameron show, because we just wild out. But here, listen, I gave you the information. Hopefully you go and search it and Google it and do everything. Peace.